There are plenty of movies about to be unleashed on film lovers this year, and a lot of challenges still facing theaters. Joining us now with more is our film critic, Rad. Welcome, Rad. You know what? I mean, box office releases, right? How have they done so far? It's been such a tough time for theaters. So do we expect the return of theaters this year? Fingers crossed.
I mean, it's so hard to say because, the pandemic's still going on. And if you look at like, we returned to theaters in 2021, right? And the biggest box office hit of 2021, No Time to Die, that was the biggest hot box office hit. And yet it still lost $100 million at the box office because it was so expensive, right? So, I mean, what's tricky for 2022 then is like, people are wondering like, well, is it even worth making these big $200 million franchise movies anymore when you can't even make your money back at the box office? But on the flip side of that, if you look back at 2021, the teenagers were the only ones that felt safe going to movie theaters, and they all flocked to the $200 million franchise movies, right? Meanwhile, movies like Ridley Scott's The Last Duel and West Side Story, that didn't do as well, right? Like they kind of tanked at the box office. So it's like on the one hand, it's like these big movies aren't making enough money. On the other hand, they're the only ones that are making money.
So what would you say is going to be the biggest challenge for movie theaters in 2022? Trying to get people in there, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, this ongoing pandemic now with Omicron posing a new challenge, like it just seems to be never ending for theaters on that front. And then, the pandemic dealt a real blow to movie theaters because, they had to embrace this shortened window, this shortened exclusive theatrical window where now a Marvel Disney movie can play in theaters and 45 days later people could see it at home. They could stream those movies at home, right? So all of a sudden watching movies at home got so much more comfortable. It also doesn't help that when you go to the theaters now, the theatrical experience is not what it used to be because first of all, you're in a pandemic, you have to deal with other people. But even beyond that, I don't know if you've been noticing it, I've been going to certain movies and the screens are darker, like literally darker, right? And I don't know if that's a maintenance issue or a cost-cutting issue, but basically we've got to the point where a lot of my movie-going experiences, they've been better at home than at the theater. And now that's the kind of thing where we got to fix that up if we're going to save theaters,
So in a perfect world, say we go back to some sort of normal, let's talk about what we're looking forward to. So what franchise movies do you expect to deliver this year? Forget the theater aspect of it, but just the delivery part of it.
Oh my God. I mean, well, there's so many franchise movies this year, right? Like Jurassic World, Batman, Doctor Strange, all of those things are coming.
Yes.
I personally, my franchise is Tom Cruise. That's the franchise I'm looking forward to. We got a Tom Cruise double-header.
All the way.
Mr. Cruz, he's putting his life on the line in two movies, Top Gun Maverick. Yeah, exactly. But also, so Tom Cruise with he's got the Top Gun sequel coming out, and that's been long delayed. But also Mission Impossible 7. Mission Impossible 7 Mission Impossible franchise has always been great, but Mission Impossible 7 has been delayed and had to deal with all these things, and it's proven kind of impossible to make during a pandemic. And apparently, it's finally coming out this year. So there's that. But then ultimately, I'm really looking forward to the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse sequel because that first movie, the first Spider-Verse movie, really it made its pitch for being one of the best comic book movies ever. And this sequel called Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 is coming out this year. There's very few movies I'm looking forward to more.
I could not agree with you more. Tom Cruise all the way. I'm so excited about that. Mission Impossible. Oh my goodness. And the man just never ages. I want to know what he is drinking. That's a whole nother conversation. Hey, there are also some movies coming out with a Toronto connection. So tell us about those.
Yeah, 2022 is the year of the Toronto movie, okay? And I'm not just talking about the independent Canadian movies like Brother and such. I'm talking about, well, first of all, The Man from Toronto, which stars Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson in a kind of a hitman comedy thriller that was a sheer shot in Toronto. But also Turning Red, the Pixar movie from Domi Shi. Domi Shi, she's the Oscar winner she won an Oscar for her short film Bao, the Chinese movie about Chinese-Canadian family.
Such a great short film.
Exactly. And now Turning Red, big movie coming out in March. It's all about a Toronto Chinese-Canadian family, about a young girl growing up. So we're going to see a lot of local indicators and also a lot of local talent. Sandra Oh is in this, as well as the homie, Maitri Ramakrishnan, in her first animated movie. So I'm very excited about that.
Hey, really quickly, speaking of local talent, you may also see me in a Toronto Connection film next year, too. We'll talk more about that in 2022.
No. Where's the exclusive, Sonia?
Hey, really quickly, what's the movie that you are most looking forward to? I know you said the Tom Cruise franchise, but what's that one movie that you just cannot wait for?
Very easily. It's the Martin Scorsese movie. Martin Scorsese has The Killers of Flower Moon, starring Lily Gladstone and Leonardo DiCaprio. Very important story about the Osage County murders, about indigenous people who were being murdered because of people who were trying to profit off oil from those lands. But, you know, again, it's a Scorsese movie. I'm looking forward to Scorsese rescuing theaters. And I'm really looking forward to people asking Scorsese about what he thinks about Marvel movies again, because that's always been a time.
Well, Rad, have an amazing, amazing time viewing all of these in 2022, and I can't wait to catch up with you on a weekly basis to hear exactly what you think about them after you've seen them. We're going to keep this party going. Thank you, Rad.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.